Dear Lord, thank you for gathering us here today as we do the work on behalf of St. Pete College, the students, the faculty, the administration, the staff, and most importantly, our community. We serve to serve each of our members of our community and the students who can rise up from where they are to better themselves. As so much turmoil exists in the world today and in our country, please be with each of us and counsel us and educate us as we move forward. In your name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning.
Good morning.
So our first, we have a retirement resolution, and I just have to say that it's so nice that we're going to do this in person with a team here. So Ms. Jenny White, come on down. I've missed this part of board meetings.
I guess I should put my mask on, huh?
No.
Okay, I'll just make sure I'm standing far away. This is real special for me because Jenny and I used to work together at the Health Education Center for many years when I was growing up there in advising and recruiting, special programs, all kinds of things. So Jenny, I'm so happy for you, and I look forward to hearing the wonderful things you will be doing as you are chilling out while we're working hard. So I get the honor to read this. Whereas Ms. Virginia White, a Senior Administrative Services Specialist for the College of Veterinary Technology, began her career as a word processing staff assistant in the Provost's office on the Health Education Center campus in 1994. And whereas Ms. White received several promotions over the years due to outstanding job performances, congenial interactions with students and colleagues, as well as her amazing organizational skills that greatly benefited her department and the entirety of St. Petersburg College. And whereas Ms. White became the administrative specialist for the College of Veterinary Technology in 2005, as the program grew with the addition of the Bachelor's in Veterinary Technology degree, she was instrumental in forming and implementing new processes to keep the department organized and operating efficiently. And whereas Ms. White has throughout her career been responsible for maintaining the records and documents required for department accreditation and licensing, a lifelong learner, she completed her own education by acquiring a degree in Office Systems Technology in 2007 and an AA degree in 2016. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the St. Petersburg College Board of Trustees and the total college community hereby recognize and appreciate the outstanding contributions to the college by Ms. Virginia White, and extend to her our best wishes for enjoyment throughout the years ahead. Said resolution being adopted and approved by the Board of Trustees, St. Petersburg College, this 18th day of May, 2021. Ms. White, we applaud you.
First of all, thank you. But I do want to say my years here have been actually my home away from home. And the gentleman that hired me in HR, who recently passed away, I have never forgotten, because just before I was hired, I went through 2 layoffs, which I've never been laid off in my life, and it was going through a yucky divorce at the same time. And the day he hired me, he reached across the table, patted my hand, and said, "You'll never be laid off again." And that just really lifted me up. I've never forgotten that. And I've built so many friends here, so many who have already retired. And I will really, really, really miss our students. They were everything to me to reach out to and talk to and, help move them along the way. I'm hoping this time of my life, this next chapter, picks up a little more of a happy momentum.
Yes.
Because the first week that I was home, a very dear friend of mine, who was security here, by the way, years ago, dropped dead suddenly, just out of the clear blue. And 2 days later, one of our longtime veterinarians in the department died. So it's been a rough start.
rough.
It's really been tough. But I thank you and really enjoyed my time here.
We love you and hope you have a good time. You guys want to come around to do a picture? Okay, come on. We just spread out.
Dr. Carver's awesome.
All right. You got us all.
I'm just, you know me, I like to be.
I know, you don't like your face.
Well, the mask solves that.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. Congratulations, Ms. White. Next, we have our SBC spotlights.
All right. We definitely enjoyed graduation. We want to thank Pat Renard and his team for the work that they've done, as well as marketing. If you missed the online graduation ceremony, you missed a treat. It was amazing and heavily attended. Lots of chatting and texting, messaging throughout the entire ceremony. And I just like the way that the team handled it. Very proud of that. And I want to thank the board members for coming to the grad walk, which is sort of like a change of not the true graduation, but it was true for those who attended. We had mother, father, husband, wife, grandchild, grandmother walk across the stage together. It was very moving to see the families celebrate in a very different way than when we have regular graduation, because they can walk across alongside their loved one as they're crossing the stage. And so I believe we had about 2,500 graduates this May. And so thank you to all for that work and for being there. I appreciate that. The Patrick Brett Foundation gave the college a $100,000 donation. And we'll be celebrating that with a check at the Midtown campus, I believe, this week. And the Patrick Brett Foundation, they like to do scholarships for second chancers. People who may have had a rough start and they're 30 years old and they want to change their lives. And so we want to recognize the foundation and thank them. This is not their first donation. They have been doing this for a couple of years. We also received a $20,000 grant for apprenticeships. So good job to the grants office and those doing the work there. And our ISPS team had a golf tournament. I hope I'm not stealing your thunder. And I believe they raised over $30,000 for the golf tournament. And it was in reference to autism and support that. And I believe some of the funding went to our education department to help with training and work on autism. And I believe those are our spotlight things for today.
Wonderful. Moving forward to our comments, I just want to echo Dr. Williams and congratulations to Dr. Renard and all of the team, each of the provosts on campus, as well as student services team. It was really wonderful to be up close and personal with the graduates on each of the campuses. Special thanks to each of the trustees who attended various grad walks. It's always fun to see the excitement, the multi-generational support that we get when we have graduation and that you can actually see the families there attending. So it definitely reiterates the reason we're here. I'd also like to echo with respect to the Patrick Brett Foundation. Terry Brett has been individually just such a supporter of the college and the foundation throughout his career and his service on the board and with the foundation. And Patrick Brett Foundation and its organizing group has continued Terry's service by really giving back to the college, and it's wonderful to see, and we just are so thankful for that. Finally, while the legislature is, I'm sure that Dr. Williams will give this in her president's report, but we're holding our breath during the legislative session, and obviously the budget hasn't been signed in its entirety yet until special session is over with respect to the compact, but we owe a lot of thanks to specifically Speaker Sprouse and Senator Hooper and Representative Latvala. They all really stepped up on behalf of not only the entire state college system, but specifically St. Petersburg College. So special thanks to all of our delegation, but specifically to them. So with that, I will move along. Vice Chair Kidwell.
You stole everything.
I'm sorry, I know. We all did similar things this month.
Yeah, the graduation ceremonies were fantastic. I always look forward to that. Echo on the Patrick Brett Foundation. I know the Brett family fairly well, and they do great work for us. And I know Terry Brett, is friends with pretty much everybody in the room. So those are my comments.
Very good. Trustee Butts, anything to add?
Just want to echo, first time attending the graduation ceremonies. Thank you to the deans, the provosts, the professors, allowing me the honor to stand with you and hand out diploma covers. It was a very moving 2 nights, both in Seminole and Tarpon. So thank you all very much.
Thank you. Trustee Stonecipher?
Nothing additional.
There we go.
All right.
Madam President?
Yes, I wanted to remind you that in March we started the line worker program. And I don't know if you remember that. That was in partnership with Duke Energy, Power Towns, the Urban League, and some other groups. We started, each group is about 14 students. And those 14 students are moving. 5 just signed an agreement to work with Duke Energy. They start in June. They already have a job and they haven't finished the program. And we already have the students ready for the next one that starts in June. And so continuing to do these types of programs are changing the lives of those who need it the most. And if you recall, the focus has been on the underserved populations in this work. And so we have 14 students in the program now. 1 is a female to be a line worker. And many are minority students. 5 already have a job and they haven't even finished the program. And so I just want to give credit to our team, Valenthia, you and your team, and the work that you guys have been doing with the line worker program. We look forward to offering more of those types of training programs where people can graduate after 14 weeks and earn 50+ thousand without the degree. And then they can come back and earn their degree. And it's applicable to engineering or some other program here at the college, but changing lives. And so I'm going to try my best to highlight those folks who get jobs and make sure the board understands how the process went all the way through. And so if we're able to celebrate 5 new lives who are getting new high-wage paying jobs after less than the 14-week program, it to me is something to applaud and be very proud of. So I'm very happy about that. Our summer enrollment, we have already basically achieved our budgeted goals, which is good. There's still work that we need to do in making sure our class sizes are correct and that our enrollment is even higher. And so we're going to be focusing on that in this next round to make sure, now that we're looking at what's happening with the pandemic and colleges are going back to school business as usual as much as possible, we'll be bringing back a plan to do that. Originally, my goal was to continue to mandate face masks for the fall and the social distancing. Well, the CDC has come out with something different. Colleges are moving quickly. Some of our universities have already, as of today, removed the face mask mandate, and they have it as optional. And so a video is going out today that I have already done saying we're going to do the same in the fall, but I do have a statement in there that this may change. So we'll be bringing back some changes there on the face mask piece. And I don't want to quote anyone, but in a meeting last week, someone said something that made sense. If you're vaccinated, act vaccinated. And so they're saying it's time for us to move forward and try to carry on our lives as best as possible. So I'll be bringing that back to the board.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't have any cards for public comment, but setting that aside, is there anybody here for public comment? You can fill out your card after you speak. All right. We will move along. We have meeting minutes from April 20th that were provided to us in advance. Hopefully you had an opportunity to review. Were there any changes or clarifications?
I move to approve the minutes of the April 20th meeting.
Second.
All, any
Second.
opposed? Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? There we go. Moving forward. Ms. Gardner.
Good morning, Chair Cole, trustees, Dr. Williams. I have two brief updates that may be of interest to the board. The first is that the closing, excuse me, of the sale of the college's district office is scheduled to close on this Friday,
Yay.
May 21st. Also, as a follow-up to the board's closed executive session on April 21 to consider the adjunct faculty union contract, discussions with SEIU have resumed, and the first session in collective bargaining is scheduled to be held later this week.
Thank you. Congratulations to Ms. Hunt and Ms. Gardner and both of your teams on moving along the DO sale, and our facilities folks and IT especially. I know that there was a lot of moving pieces that went into the relocation of the staff and the administration and the equipment that's there. So it'll be wonderful. I know I personally look forward to years of reduced expenses because of that. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Moving quickly on to strategic focus. Welcome, Dr. Hackford.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chair Cole, members of the board, Dr. Williams, Dr. Connor. I'm Leslie Hafer, and I'm the provost for the St. Pete Gibbs campus, and it's my pleasure to come this morning and talk to you about student affairs. So student affairs encompasses many different departments and services across the college. From recruiting and onboarding new students through graduation, we support the students. We provide wraparound services and support outside of the classroom that helps our students endure and succeed. COVID-19 presented many opportunities for us to advance innovative ideas and strategies to help our students through what was, for many, the most difficult times of their lives. But because we had been working on new and creative ways to serve our students for the last several years, we were ready. We were able to digitalize our services in ways that we could not have imagined doing so quickly even 1 year before COVID. We updated our website so students could see all the ways that we were available to serve them. The Student Affairs team returned to campus in late July 2020, which provided students with on-campus face-to-face services as well as virtual services. We updated the student portal called MySPC to provide a seamless way for students to make appointments for face-to-face services and also to access our virtual advising. We streamlined the advisor dashboard, which helped our advisors be able to very quickly determine and identify which students needed help in making their career choices, assistance with completing their learning plan, and other key measurements related to retention and completion. We moved our student placement testing online and converted many of our paper forms, like our forms for residency, into electronic forms. We ramped up our virtual advising to complement our on-campus services using Zoom rooms that students could easily access from the website. Between August 2020 and April 2021, we completed over 16,000 student interactions in academic advising and financial aid alone. Virtual advising has transformed our operation. No longer does a student have to come to campus to see us. Students can see us from their cell phone, from their tablet, from their laptop. We are literally able to meet students where they are. And where they are is sometimes at home starting dinner or waiting in their child's pickup line at school. So with virtual advising, we have the added bonus of being even more convenient for our students. Beyond advising, we've been able to expand our reach through just-in-time resources. Before COVID, we had tips and strategies to help students be successful in online classes. During COVID, we developed tips to help students be successful in their live online classes and help them better understand how to use electronic textbooks. We updated our information for our overall wellness for students and also intensified our focus on mental health resources, which are available for free to all of our students. Our student life and leadership team ramped up virtual events and activities, anything from career fairs to trivia. We kept our students engaged. We had already planned to update our student learning plans, so when quarantine began, we were ready already, and prepared to help our students better navigate through our degree pathways to completion. All right, did I click it? What did I do? Sorry, I think I left the, there we go. Thank you, whoever did that, Rebecca. It was magic, right? Moving forward, we intend to further expand our virtual services. Our appointment data has shown that virtual advising is growing. So beginning July 6th, we will expand our operational hours to provide expanded virtual services. We'll provide those virtual services till 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday, till 5 p.m. on Friday, and then 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday. We're able to provide these expanded hours through the addition of 4 dedicated virtual advisors, specifically targeting our evening and weekend hours. These virtual advisors will be supported by our on-campus advisors. And in addition to academic advising, financial aid will support additional virtual hours, and other areas within student affairs are working to expand their virtual services. We're in the process of updating our current appointment system and virtual queuing software, which will facilitate more virtual walk-ins and also provide mobile alerts to students to let them know where they are in the queue. We're planning to add kiosks like the ones you see on the slide there, where students who are on campus and want to interact with us virtually, but don't want to use their cell phone or personal device, can walk up to that touch screen and jump right into a Zoom virtual queue. Now, we're seeing the hard work that began years ago and that was magnified during COVID in our student survey results. The SENSE survey is the survey of entering student engagement, and it was last administered in fall 2020 to students in lower division courses such as beginning, math, reading, writing, and student life skills. We administered this survey every other year, and what we're looking at is the raw data from fall 2020 from the areas that are specific to student affairs. So you'll see there are comparison groups for ourselves, SBC in 2020, SBC 2018, the Achieving the Dream colleges that participated in the 2020 survey, as well as the 2020 cohort of colleges and universities from around the country. The survey asked students to reflect on their experiences from the moment they initially engaged with SPC through the first 3 weeks of their first semester. And SBC has been focusing on our onboarding experience for several years, and we're excited to continue this work. Now, I'll summarize this data for you. We're awesome. We've been doing an outstanding job in comparison to other colleges. You'll see that when we combine the strongly agree and agree results, we far outpace the comparison colleges in almost all categories. The strongly agree and agree results are highlighted in lime green and all questions where we exceeded the 2020 Achieving the Dream colleges cohort, as well as the 2020 cohort institutions. Now, you'll notice question 18F on this slide is a lightly green highlighted in the text. This question directly correlates to the new advisor rubric and dashboard I mentioned earlier, and was an area where we had the highest aspect of student engagement. Again, the strongly agree and agree highlighted in lime green are areas where we exceeded the 2020 Achieving the Dream colleges and the 2020 cohort institutions. However, there's always room for improvement. And the first question on this slide, 18A, is where we came up a little short in comparison when we combined strongly agree and agree. When I say short, I mean we scored 75.1%, while achieving degree was 75.8, and the other cohort was 75.7. So we were literally a few 1/10 of a percentage point away from exceeding those other two groups. And I know we can beat them next time.
Absolutely.
At this time, I'll turn it over to Mike Bennett.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Williams and Dr. Connor, thank you for the opportunity to present a brief update on financial assistance services, or more familiar, financial aid office. On our first slide, we see how students can get their questions answered, whether it's through web pages, videos, emails, robocalls, social media, call center, or online questions, cyber advisors, or coming to campus. We continually monitor these channels to make sure they are working properly. Most impressive was our chatbot, Pete, has increased 600% during COVID. We will soon be integrating our chatbot with live data, so when a student types, "What are my financial aid awards?" or "What documents must I submit?" the information will be immediately displayed. On this slide, you'll see some financial aid award information for this year. 17,500 students awarded for almost $100 million, with 54% of the money being grants, which are federal, state, institutional grants, foundation, or outside scholarships. And then there's CARES funding, which was presented at a previous board meeting. Currently, we have 17,200 students receiving $10.8 million. SPC has covered $1.2 million of COVID-related outstanding balances for 3,000 students. Our next HERF 3 allocation for students is $27 million. Know this, SPC has gotten these funds to our students in record time, and our students are very grateful for the funds. To the right of this slide, you see a description of our services to encourage financial literacy, debt management, and default prevention. Highlights include our business partner, I3 Group, has cured 17,000 delinquent loans and registered over 22,000 on their online portal. We've lowered our cohort default rate from 22% to a projected rate of 3.5%. Virtual presentations are occurring every other week on taxes, budgeting, banking and saving, credit and identity theft. These are funded by the United Way. And finally, we've decreased our student borrowing by $50 million in 8 years.
Great.
On the left of this slide, top of the slide, you can see our community outreach to assist students completing FAFSA applications. SPC's Collegiate High School won the Florida FAFSA Challenge for increasing FAFSA completion by more than 5% of the previous year. Lower left shows all our forms are e-forms, and when they are completed, they are automatically imaged and checklist item, and PeopleSoft is automatically flipped to completed. We have 12.5 image documents. On the right of this slide, who we are. We make you proud. No audit findings over the past 12 years. I've been in this profession for 41 years. We have 60 talented, highly motivated staff covering 8 campuses with proven leadership credentials, many nationally known, who embrace ongoing professional development. We're creating a peer advisor program in the upcoming year. No one understands more the transformation of our area over the past years than Dr. Williams. We are grateful for the ongoing support of the board that enable us to show innovation, quick reaction time, while supporting each other and putting our students first in all we do. Happy to answer any questions or provide additional information at a later date.
Thank you both so much. Trustees? Anything?
I have one question.
Sure.
What do you think, I mean, aside from general education, was the main reason for the decline in borrowing by $50 million? Was it focusing on scholarships, grants, and that sort of thing that are available? Was it, I mean...
It was a combination of all our, we have the ongoing training, looking all kinds of ways to work with students and discouraging over borrowing.
Make sure they understand all the options and then what the long-term effects of some of their decisions are, and then allowing them to make the decision when they have all those in front of them.
Yeah, our overall program is titled It's My Future, so we kind of help them see why borrowing less here is better longer.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you remember, Trustee Stonecipher, it may have been right when you came on the board, we had a really big issue with students not paying back the loans, and it affected our rates and all that, and Mr. Bennett came to the board and said he was going to figure it out and fix it, and I think this is a part of that effort in educating students on not taking loans if you don't really need them, right? If I remember correctly. So I know that he's been working on this, and he does a really good job of this. And I know he's been working on it for at least 5 years. And I think we've got it under control finally. That's just history, I'm sorry.
Well, the college does bear the burden when students do not pay their loans back. There's a negative impact on us. And so, as Trustee Gibbons said, we had gotten way up there in those numbers.
Yeah, we did.
And Mike said, I can put a plan in place that's going to help us. And education is the biggest part. It's letting a student know, hey, do you really need this $10,000? And what will that do to you in the future, and how does this work? Also, the digitizing of work that financial aid has done and making things electronic with automated messaging to students to let them know, okay, you sure you want, they ask them maybe twice, are you sure you want to do this? This is what's going to happen. And so putting all those things in place has educated the student on whether they really need the loan and what that means. And I applaud all the work that financial aid has done, especially being one of the first to come out with Mike, I'm going to say it wrong, but where people can scan in their documents and it goes into an automated queue, and then it goes to financial aid, and things are moving quicker, and we're able to respond to students earlier. So students aren't waiting very late to find out, did I get the aid? What do I need to do? And the feedback comes back and forth. So that was a lot of work to get to that automated process, and they've done a fantastic job with that.
And all that automation gives us opportunities for more personal connection. Yeah. And everyone knows once you have that, the students buy in.
And I want to say the same with advising. I've had advisors say, I ended up working this late tonight because I had so many good students and so many things going on. But the digitization of work that has been done has been a game changer. And when you look at the data that we just showed you, that was during COVID. That was done in August of 2020, in the heat of it. And we were still working our way through, and the students still felt that the new tools that were provided made a difference for them. And we were able to keep our numbers up, except in that I felt welcomed, one. And I could understand that coming into COVID and things are so different. So, but Leslie, you want to say a few words before we
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to let the board know that in an upcoming meeting, Dr. Misty Kemp will come and talk about everything related to retention services and our wraparound services that further support students outside of the classroom today. And thank you for your time.
Thank you both very much.
Good job.
This is such an example, and every time Dr. Williams and I speak, I try to say this to her, but I mean, there was a whole lot to do 4 years ago, and she had a really long list, and you all have stepped up for us to be able to check those things off the list, and so we really appreciate it, so thank you. Dr. Laura, I'm going to hand this over to you.
Well, good morning, Madam Chair, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Williams. As always, I would like to thank the Lord for the opportunity to be here today. In revenue for this term, we brought $55 million for student tuition and fee, which total 99% of the total budget for tuition and fee revenue. Our summer term just started, and we still have enrollment for the summer section for May and June. For the state funding, we received $54.5 million, including our allocation of the lottery, which totaled $1.9 million per month for the remaining of the fiscal year. Good news, the 6% holdback funds are released for the colleges. The timing to send these funds is based on the governor's signature of these bills. As we know more, we will communicate the timing of this release to you. We have $4.6 million for other revenue, which include interest, dividend, indirect costs, and uses of facilities. Fund transfer in, we have $1.3 million. Our total revenue as of today, as of the term, is $115.6 million, or 83% of the year-to-date revenue. The next focus is our expenditures. Per the accounting manual, our operating budget during this presentation represents expenses by instructional and administrative function. For this slide, our instructional expenditure consists of the college-wide expenditures related to instructional activity, like the academic unit where students take classes, like A&P courses, credit and non-credit, EAP developmental education, academic support, and student support. As of this period, we have $75.7 million in expenses, from which $70.3 is associated with salary and benefits, and $5.4 million for expenses and capital. On the other hand, we have the administrative functions, which consist of activities undertaken to provide the necessary services on a college-wide basis, which include executive management, finance department, legal services, facilities, and data management. As of April 30, we incurred $29.9 million, from which $15.4 million is related to salaries and benefits, and $14.4 million, $5 million for expenses and capital. Combining instructional and administrative expenses, our total expenses as of this term are $105.7 million, which is 76% year-to-date. As of this term, we have a total revenue of $115.6 million and $105.7 total expenses for a positive variance of 9.84. This variance will decrease as we get closer to the end of the fiscal year. If you look at the bottom left of the pie chart, you're going to see what we budget for total instructional and administrative. And if you look to the right, you'll be able to see what we have spent year-to-date as of this term. I would like to know if you got any question about the operating budgets at this point. All right, now let's take a look at the fiscal year 21-22 budget highlights. We're first going to start with the revenue side. Our current General Appropriation Act reflects an increase of about $5.8 million from current year, plus the fully funded project of Midtown Digital Campus for $674,000 and the Law Enforcement Simulation City of $510,000, provide governor's approval, plus an increase in lottery of about $1.6 million, minus the special project that is $1.1 million, minus the unfunded Student Success Fund, this $1.3 million. minus the Florida retirement system passed another $11 million to the Florida College, meaning a probable increase of the employer retirement contribution of about $393,000. This will not affect employees' compensation. That means that we have a total net increase of about $5.6 million provide governor approval. The increase of our current general appropriation will help us to offset some of the fiscal costs of adapting to the new norm for this oncoming fiscal year. I would like to thank our governor liaison, Ms. Edie, Capital City, and Dr. William for the excellent work with the legislation. Now let's talk about enrollment projection. We are one of the few colleges who forecasted a 10% decline in enrollment and prepared for it, which allows us to maneuver during the uncertainty of this year's pandemic effect. During February, the budgeting team met with the institutional research team and leadership, and we all agreed to spread our enrollment bounce back over the next few years in a more conservative way, with a 1% increase gain during the next year and an additional growth the following 2 years due to the lingering effect of the COVID, meaning we still are 9% down in comparison to prior years. A 1% gain on FTE, it could have an increase on tuition and fee of approximately $1.3 million. For our auxiliary funds, as you are aware, our bookstore and others commission declined significantly during the course of the year. I don't think there's going to be the exception for the next year as well. So for next year, we are forecasting less usage of our auxiliary funds, which will help us to increase our auxiliary fund cash balance. Currently, we are not making use of any reserve for the first time in 8 years, which will sustain our commitment to operational efficiency. The mentioned highlights are and constitute an update on our revenues. Now onto the operational expenses. Our non-health insurance, which include property and casualty, worker comp, and other coverage and costs, increased 18%. An 18% increase is about $500,000. We are currently part of the consortium. The ranges of increase of institution was between 7% to 30%. The last couple of years, we witnessed Mother Nature going into places never touched before. Historical low rates, the pandemic, and the rapidly increased loss trend and liability line affect our current rates. Financial and operational efficiency. As mentioned in Dr. William Town Hall back in March, in order to move forward in the reimagining of SPCs, there are positions the college has that need to be revised and some eliminated. As these changes take place, it's always leadership first priority to make decisions through the value of community of care. Salary increases are a top priority for President Williams. It has been her prior years. As you are aware, the last few years we have worked to realign the budget and our resources to strengthen our foundation, knowing this is what is needed to sustain a recurring fiscal increase such as salary percent increases. Budgeting is working diligently to align our resources to support our strategic goal of academic excellence, economic mobility, employee engagement and retention, and financial vitality. As the budget planning proceeds, we are looking to provide some feasible options that support our employees in this oncoming fiscal year. Due to the oncoming fall semester, we will need to be prepared for somehow the new norm. Current expenses will increase in comparison to the actual year, which might be offset by the increases of funds from the general appropriation. We have to be ready to work on our students. Our BP revised and made modification to align our resources with the strategic goal set by you, our Board of Trustees. I want to thank the budgeting department team, finance team, budget managers, and our BPs for their commitment and help during the budgeting planning season. We will continue to promote high skill and high paid wages in our workforce department, expansion of the workforce, support diversity, equity, and inclusion. We look forward to the one-on-one meeting to discuss the budget in more details and to request budget approval during the board meeting of June. At this moment, I would like to ask you if you got any questions. It's important to remind you something. this is work that have been done for the last couple of years. This is don't start this year.
Right.
This did not start when COVID hit us. This started prior to that. So for that reason, I want to remind you that part. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Lara. Thank you, Trustee Kidwell. Sorry I had to step out for a moment there. Rest assured, Dr. Williams and I go through those numbers on a regular basis. So moving forward to the consent agenda, which was in your packet, there was personnel report, contract recommendations. Any questions regarding any of the items in the consent agenda package? And if not, I'd be happy to entertain a motion for the approval of all items with one.
I move to approve all items on the consent agenda.
A second?
Second?
Any conversation? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. There are some informational reports in our package today, specifically Lepa Ratner, ISPS, and the foundation, which just had year end, right? Yes, so another extremely successful year from the foundation, and I love seeing that Titan Fund growing, so thank you, Jesse. And there is also a budget report with our tuition projections, and somebody, I was having lunch last week with somebody talking about college issues or things, and they said, I can't believe you haven't raised tuition. And I said, well, no, and we're trying not to as hard as we can, and we will continue to not raise it. And really, with the support of everything that we've done over the past 5 years with zero-based budgeting, the foundation's support, financial aid, it's really created a positive situation to keep those prices low. So thank you for that. There are no proposed changes to the Board of Trustees rules manual that we have. I did want to remind the board, I know Dr. Lara said it, but we will be having our one-on-one meetings with respect to the budget, and that will align with our strategic plan review, which is forthcoming as well in June. And also, we will be distributing and working on Dr. Williams' review and contract negotiations. So that is also coming up in the next 6 weeks. So just wanted, yes, sir.
Madam Chair, before the President's report, I'm sorry I was late, but I did have a couple of things.
Please.
Could I do that real quick?
Yes, you may.
First of all, I went to the grad walk at the Trustee Kidwell and I at Gibbs, and it was very well done, very well organized. We really appreciate that. I see her there, but thank you. It was very well done, very good. I didn't know that this was going to happen today, but Mike Bennett goes unnoticed a lot. I call him. I don't know if you guys call him, but because I get stopped all the time, people ask me about financial aid issues, but he has to. I mean, I know he's been president of the National Association and all that stuff, but when it comes down to nuts and bolts related to this college and getting financial aid done right, Mike, you are a rock star, and I just want to say that publicly, and we appreciate you, and we want to keep you, so don't go anywhere. And then the other, we lost 2 people, Dr. Williams. I don't know if you said something about it, but I just want to acknowledge that. Reggie Reed and Dr. Luz Randolph were very good employees. I enjoyed working with both of them. I don't know if either one of them is here today, but I enjoy working with both of them, and we wish them Godspeed and the best in their new success in both of their careers. And I have 2 quick things. Dr. Williams, if you would indulge me. Auxiliary and boards, I was reading in the packet that we had a board that was for like a auxiliary board for Palladium. Could you give me a list of who's on those boards, like all the boards and auxiliary? I didn't know we had them for, I know we had some, but I didn't know we had one for the Palladium. Because then I would probably know who, when you're looking to change people, or when who's working on what. When we run into them, we'll know that they're working on certain things within the community. And then finally, I know we hired a young lady from USF to do diversity and equity programs. Could we have a report on what programs that they put together and what they're looking to do
Yeah,
long
she's
term?
coming in August. We
Okay,
have that.
cool, perfect, thank you. That's it, thank you, Madam Chair.
Perfect.
Thank you. Dr. Williams?
All right. I wanted to also say that we had a great legislative session, and I want to thank the board as well, because some of you have participated in conversations, and you've gone behind the scenes, and you've done some other things as well to help us through this session. This June starts my role as the Policy and Advocacy Chair for the Florida College System. And I'll be leaning on many of you for concepts, thoughts, ideas, the folks you know, to make sure we don't step into the wrong direction. But I'm very excited about that. It gives the college opportunities, but it also gives us an opportunity to meet other legislators outside of our area who are making decisions, and pulls us closer to our local delegation, which I'm very excited about. When we come back in June, we'll be bringing, June's going to be a big meeting. We're bringing the 3-year strategic plan overview. We're bringing the 21-20 budget. We're doing the president's evaluation, and we also have the board self-eval. That usually takes place in June as well, and we'll have a better look on what we're going to do in coming back for the fall term on face masks, social distancing, and moving forward. There are some, once the governor approves, there are some opportunities. We're hosting the State Board of Education at St. Petersburg College, I believe in July, if I have it right. I don't see Eric here, but I think it's in July.
It is.
And then also, we may have an opportunity for the governor to be here in August. And so we need to be prepared for both of those opportunities. So I'm excited about that. And there's a couple of policies we're looking at. One, and Suzanne, you may have to help me. I don't know what the number is. The House bill that talks about faculty in the classrooms and students being able, which is that, 233? 233. 233, I had it right. So we're going to be working with administration and faculty on the rules of that and the changes that we need to make in the classroom, whether it's online or on campus. We'll have to do that. And we have the honor of providing some very unique workforce things. We're going to start in North County, so I'm very excited about that and bringing that back as well. And so we'll keep the board abreast of what happened legislatively. You'll get your legislative manual that we do every year to kind of give you an outcome of all the rules that relate to the college. And I want to make sure we give that to the college family as well, so that they're fully aware of what came out, what impacted us, how we're addressing it, and what we're doing with that. But we're ready to roll. In July, we do not have a board meeting unless the board decides that they want to meet in July. But we usually use that as a amp-up time for the college to get admissions ready and done for the fall, get us started for the fall, welcome our faculty and staff back. So we usually don't have a board meeting in July. And that's my report for today.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. We've had 2 pretty efficient meetings last month and this month, so don't get used to it, Trustee Buds.
We're going to try to keep that from going.
Yeah.
So,
June's going to be a doozy, but a good one, a good one.
Yeah.
Is there any other business to come before the board? With that, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Adjourned. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
thank you.